I stand here today to bring forward the first of 4 tax cuts that will return the historic surplus back to the hardworking taxpayers of the state of Wisconsin. AB 1020 targets tax relief to the middle class by increasing the upper thresholds of the second tax bracket. It increases the upper limit of the bracket from $38,000 to $150,000 for a married filer, and from $28,000 to $112,500 for a single filer. So individuals making more than $28,640 will see a savings by their taxes at the second bracket of 4.4% instead of the current third bracket of 5.3%. This results in an average tax cut of $454 per filer, an average of 15.4% decrease. This bill is not a one-time gimmick. This bill will provide ongoing and permanent relief for families, many of which are struggling with the steady increases of inflation. The Legislative Fiscal Bureau estimates that 69% of Wisconsin taxpayers with a tax liability will receive a tax decrease, and 49% of all filers will receive a tax decrease. Those not receiving a tax decrease would be individuals with no tax liability or individuals whose income exceeds that second tax bracket. In his 2023-2025 biennial budget address given in this chamber by the governor a year ago, February 2023, the governor made the following comments. Permission to read from a printed document.
Without objection.
So I'm going to quote his comments. He said, "I'm delivering on my promise of a 10% middle-class tax cut and providing $1.2 billion in tax relief for working families. Under my plan, if you're a single filer making less than $100,000 or a married joint filer making less than $150,000, the cornerstone of my tax plan will cut your taxes by 10%. That ends the governor's quote. The Republican 2023-2025 biennial budget provided $4 billion of tax relief. Unfortunately, under the governor's veto pen, Act 36 only provided an average decrease of less than 1%, 0.9% to taxpayers, or an average of $36 per tax filer. Instead of the governor's promised $1.2 billion tax cut, only $82 million of income tax relief was signed into law by him. By vetoing the legislative proposals to lower the third and fourth bracket, the governor missed an opportunity to drive economic growth and set the state up for future prosperity. These changes would have made Wisconsin more competitive with other states that have already lowered their rates. But today, Mr. Speaker, there's an opportunity for compromise and to come together to make these changes in the second bracket. The bill includes the same caps that the governor identified as middle class, $150,000, and it provides the same level of tax relief that he promised a year ago of $1.2 billion. I strongly believe, Mr. Speaker, that individuals best know how to spend their own money. Wisconsin has over-collected on taxes, and we need to return that surplus back to the people of our state. It should be returned to the Wisconsin taxpayers. We must always remember it's their money. Appreciate your consideration. I hope you will vote in favor of AB 1020, a vote to help middle-class families and return the money back to them. I urge the governor to accept this compromise and to sign this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.